In this lesson, I want to talk about using the wildcard match option with the XLOOKUP function. And this is really useful when you are searching for a piece of text or a partial string. Okay, so to illustrate this, let's consider this example here. So we have a list of employees and we want to pull out what department they work in. Okay. But supposing that rather than having the full employee name, we only have the last name. So for example, if we have, instead of Dennis Bolton, we have Bolton, and instead of Jim App, we just have App. And so how can we do this? And then we'll also discuss the search mode option in the XLOOKUP function. So to make sure that this is clear, and so here in our data set, we have the employees' full names, the state where they're based, the department they work for, and their salary. And what we're going to be given is going to be in column H, just the last name of the employees. And what we want to do is, based on the last names, we want to return the department that they work for. And so we're going to use the XLOOKUP, and we're going to say that our search key is going to be using the wildcard. We're going to say find anything that ends in Bolton in this example. Okay, our lookup range is going to be here, this column A where the employee names are. And then our result range is going to be given by the column with the department names. Okay, and then if we don't find a result, we want to write not found as our missing value message. Okay, and then we need to set the match mode right here to true to let Excel know that XLOOKUP is using a wildcard in its search key. So let's go ahead and do this in Google Sheets. And so here we are, and so we're going to say XLOOKUP, okay, and we're going to look up, we're going to use the wildcard here and then concatenate it, join it with the name in H4. Okay, and then we're going to say we want to look for this in our list here where we have the names, and we're going to lock that. And then we want to say the results are going to be in the list with the departments, and we're going to lock that. We don't need to put anything for missing values if we don't want. And then our search mode here is going to be 2. Okay, and so we're going to get both the departments for Bolton and App. I do want you to see here what happens if we go in and we include the third option. And the third option here is the search mode. And the search mode is how we're going to go through this data to look for the value that we want. The default is 1, which means that we're going to search from, top to bottom. If we write -1, it means start searching from the bottom to the top. And then if we use a 2, it's going to say use a binary search, assuming that the list is in ascending order. And if we do -2, it's going to do a binary search, assuming that the list is in descending order. So my sense, okay, is that unless you're working with data that is going to be on the order of 30 to 50,000 rows, this option is not something that you're going to need to be concerned with. And so let me show you what's going to happen if I put a -1 here, which effectively says I'm searching from the bottom to the top. Okay, so if I do that, notice that now for Bolton, it finds this Bolton and returns HR. This is in contrast to when I just had a 1 here, where it would find, because it was going from top to bottom, it would return research and development. In the next lesson, we're going to discuss a much more complex example using the XLOOKUP function. And before we actually get to that, let me actually show you how the XLOOKUP function, unlike the VLOOKUP and the HLOOKUP, it doesn't just have to return one number or one value. Okay, so let's say we're looking here for department, and I want to look for it in this set of entries right here, but what I want to return is I want to return this whole range here. And so what this is going to do is it's going to search for department and then return kind of whatever is underneath it. Okay, so if I do that, it's going to say, these are the departments. Okay, notice that if I change this to salary, okay, it's going to return all of the information that is under salary. So this is pretty powerful, and we're going to now make use of that in our next lesson.